everybody. So it's February 26th and I'm out here on Main and Hazel Street outside St. Paul University, fake university and dangerous cult back there. Got my new signs. Genocider Aurélie Lacassagne set me up for exploitation. So sorry I don't have my tripod today, so you can check my post down below, or if this is my YouTube, I plan to stitch these videos together so that you can see my sign a little bit better that way. On the back today I have a new sign. Racist Heather Eaton. What does it say? Weaponizes complaints against students. So that's what that sign says. I posted some of the evidence that I have from a giant binder full of evidence that these incapable thinkers who are very used to conducting very used to this kind of unethical conduct, which is rampant in these universities, and they don't even consider their professional ethics before they go ahead with their despicable actions. My throat's kind of dry. Gonna need a lozenge or a drink of water. Okay, so what else can I say? I put out some information, from that giant binder that shows some of the racism and unethical conduct by Heather Eaton. And if you're on my YouTube, then you can just go to the playlist if you're interested in seeing the evidence of the extensive documentation of these events since this time last year. I started making informal complaints of racism in January of 2025, so it's been a year I've been documenting this. I have a lot of evidence of a fake investigation conducted by an unethical lawyer called Stephen Goen. Okay, so, check that out. If you're on my X, then the link is just below a couple posts there. You can check my highlights. All that kind of stuff is in the highlights. So other than that, I think I'll just read my press release. Not everybody has a time to check that out, so. It's a little bit windy out here. It's often windy in Ottawa. Okay. Oh. 1 second. Oh, also interesting development. Aurélie Lacassagne got off a bus right there and walked across the intersection right here, walked right by me. Didn't even look at me or acknowledge my existence because that's what dehumanizers and genociders do. So I got that documented on my handy dandy body cam that is under my sign right now. If you follow me, you know that I wear that for my safety. Those of you who are familiar with this kind of stuff know that these leftist cult members are violent. So I have it for my safety, and also I document people who interfere with my protest in bad faith. Okay, so press release. Anishinaabe survivor of missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls and an advocate for erased First Nation survivors will hold a peaceful protest at St. Paul University's Graduate Symposium. That's what this is. On February 26, 2026. So the department responsible for the symposium is conflict studies. So then I learned recently that Aurélie Lacassagne had to take a leave of absence and go all the way up to Université de Hearst. Just so that they could genocide me in my second semester of classes because she wasn't able to do it in the first. And so that she took a leave of absence to take a job up there as rectrice, and then she resigned from that job right on schedule, and then she returned here as well according to the terms of her leave. And now she's teaching in conflict studies. Also Heather Eaton, who used her capacity, who misused her capacity in the full-time professors union to make improper complaints against me on behalf of other people. Also teaches in conflict studies. Okay, so the protest will take place outside the main campus at 223 Main Street in Old Ottawa East, coinciding with the event From Theory to Practice, Building Understanding in a Complex World. The demonstration continues the advocates' ongoing campaign to expose the university's practices of erasure, exclusion, dehumanization, and racism within its Faculty of Human Sciences and Philosophy, Department of Social Innovation, and School of Conflict Studies. The symposium features panels on conflict construction, grievance mobilization, structural harm, and lived experiences of violence, culminating in a bilingual session where professors, including Dr. Aurélie Lacassagne from the School of Conflict Studies, present their research to highlight connections between academia and real-world engagement. The advocate argues that this event underscores SPU's hypocrisy, promoting understanding in a complex world while actively erasing Indigenous scholarship and survivor voices, particularly through retaliatory actions against those challenging institutional bias. Special signage will address Dr. Lacassagne's role as she supervised the advocate's master's and PhD work before contributing to her erasure in retaliation for racism complaints. Since early 2025, the advocate has documented the protested numerous instances of discrimination at SPU, including arbitrary devaluation of Indigenous research using DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, or EDI frameworks as a pretext for bias, as seen in the actions of faculty members like Chris Mackey and Amanda Wilson. Retaliatory administrative investigations and expulsions without due process, involving fabricated complaints from individuals such as Heather Eaton and Simone Tremblay-Pepin, leading to the advocate's removal from her PhD program in social innovation. Gotta flip my page. Flip my page. My hands are gonna freeze doing this, and I'm gonna end it as soon as I can. Despite submitting evidence of racism, weaponization of academic disclosure in events like the Crit Cycle, which frames right-leaning perspective as fascist while ignoring Indigenous ontologies and lived experiences of genocide survivors. Failure of university leadership, including ties to Archbishop Marcel Damphouse on the Senate, to address appeals and requests for accountability, contributing to the ongoing erasure of MMIWG survivors. Extraction of nearly $15,000 in tuition from the advocate while delaying core research support, then sabotaging her work on Anishinaabe philosophies, actions that contradict the department's published principles on decolonization, anti-racism, and transformative justice, as critiqued in the advocate's statement on the book, Social Innovation for Real-World Transformation. These patterns demonstrate SPU's role in perpetrating colonial legacies and institutional racism, turning education into a tool for ideological exclusion and harm rather than empowerment. By protesting the Graduate Student Symposium, the advocate seeks to protect future students, particularly First Nations, from similar exploitation and demand transparency from the university. As an Anishinaabe MMIWG survivor who has been repeatedly erased by SPU's racist and genocidal practices, I will protest this symposium to highlight how theory to practice at this institution means silencing First Nations voices while promoting while platforming those complicit in the erasure, like my former supervisor, Dr. Aurélie Lacassagne, said down a hickey. SPU recruits students under the guise of building understanding, but it fabricates harm to punish complaints, weaponizes concepts like fascism against conservative views, and fails to uphold its own claims of equity and justice. Attendees deserve to know the truth before engaging with this dangerous cult. The protest calls on St. Paul University to engage in meaningful reconciliation, including an independent review of its policies on racism, bias and discrimination complaints, full disclosure of internal processes, and restitution for affected students. Supporters are encouraged to join the peaceful demonstration or share their stories of institutional harm using SPU accountability hashtag. That's it. I'm freezing. I got to put my gloves back on and put on my hand warmers and all that stuff. And so I'm ending this video now. Thank you for watching.